Szasse.
Hello Transformers fans, and welcome to a fresh look, where I, Zesty Phresh, take a look at some products available that I collect, such as Beyblades, Transformers. That's pretty much it right now, but I'm sure other things will come in the future. Today we are taking a look here at something that just got delivered, which is Masterpiece 51 Arcee from Takara Tomy. So this is the Masterpiece figure from that first generation movie, Arcee, the pink car robot. So let's take a look at what we got here. There is some fun little photos around the outside. We got her car form, the front of course, and on the back we've got some of the stuff that this is coming with and how it's all going to work. Lots of Japanese. I'm not quite good enough at reading yet. I'm sure I'll get there. So Cybertronian Warrior Arcee. She's got her cars. She's got a little spike thing that comes out of the wheel and is available. There's her posing with Magnus and Hot Rod from the movie. I've got Magnus. I'm still waiting for Hot Rod to get into my collection. We've got some of her awkward poses. She's got several different faces and a visor. And then we've got her with her guns and her rifle. So 3 faces, a couple of effects for blasters, then 2 guns, and maybe 3 guns? Not sure what that is. There should also be the instruction manual and the toy itself. All right. To cut the box. So, inside, we have the packaging. We have the instructions and her card. So we got her Arcee card, we got her instructions, and then we've got the package with her faces and all of her little accessories that go throughout the whole deal. All right, a little bit more tape to deal with. Right off. I don't know why I want it to be this way, but I do. All right, so our faces should be able to give her a little bit of personality throughout the different poses. Got a little bit of light piping for some glowing eye effects. We've got whatever this is. Oh, it's a holster. So she can put this on her thigh and holster the little rifle or the little pistol. We've got a pink gun, a little tiny gray pistol, that rifle, and the spike. Pulling this out. Looks pretty good. Exactly how I remember it. A little bit kibbly on the bottom. Hands just sitting right there. I'm not a huge fan of that in a Masterpiece scale figure, to have just a couple of hands hanging out right underneath. Some of it's wrapped up in different things. If we move the hands, we can get rid of this. Maybe, yep. And this. A little bit of protective stuff, I guess. Haven't really seen those before in these Masterpieces. We'll take a look at some of the other ones that I actually have and haven't made videos for soon. But this is the first video for Transformers products. All right, so overall, decent car. Wheels actually roll pretty well. And just nice and aesthetic. All right. In the instruction booklet package, we'll have, again, a little bit of a story about the character, I'm sure. Her supercar and her Arcee bios, images of her, and some things on how to use the rifle, how to put it on her hands, how to stow it on her character, and how to use the spike thing for the wheels, and all the guns attached to the car right there. And then, of course, we've got the instruction sheet for how to fully transform her. So I am going to familiarize myself with this, go through all of these, and then I am going to show a step-by-step quick transformation process for you guys. So let's take a look at the car. So we've got these nice rounded segments around the tires. We've got the decent tires. This little flap comes down, but for the most part it should stay like that. Looks really nice from the aesthetic. At an angle about there, it looks right. Looking at it above, looking at the front, looking at the back, all that's good. It's just when you start to get right sideways, you can see those hands, and then the bottom is just a mashup of kibble. Seat-wise, it's got its little seats, it's got a little console you can see, and the steering wheel. All the little knobs and doodads seem to be accounted for, so you can actually consider it to be a driving car. Looks pretty much perfect. So I would give this mode an A+. A couple of things need to snap together a little tighter, but that's just the current state of it, not an issue with the design. That's just how mine is currently set up. Autofocus, come on. Doesn't know what to focus on. There we go. All right.
Time to transform. All right, the figure. The first question is, does it stand upright on its own? And the answer is barely. It took me about 15 minutes of shifting around pieces and trying to get the hips and everything into the right position so that it could stand in this awkward just stand there position. It is a extremely back heavy figure. The lack of a heel, I guess, here, the foot, let's try and get in view. The foot is very flat and the toes aren't particularly good at gripping, and there's no section a little bit at the back. I almost wish they'd given her heels instead of this flat foot. The flat foot is the traditional look, but a heel would have actually given a little bit more stability so that this figure doesn't not fall over. Looking at the side, you can tell that this is clearly designed by a man, and that is because a woman's body doesn't actually do that. If you look at that booty right there, it just doesn't make any sense with the actual shape of the body. The belly goes into the waist at a very awkward position. But overall, look-wise, this figure is awesome. It looks exactly how I would want it to as a character from the movie. She stands very well. Really good look-wise. I wish there wasn't so much kibble in the back. The amount of falling over this figure is going to do is going to be really high, although I've actually been surprised that she's been this stable this far. I did not have that much luck when I was trying to get her to stand. Alright, articulation-wise, hands have these creepy thumbs. Her thumbs are a little bit jagged and pokey, but they do go in. So the thumb goes in and can almost fully compress. It's just a little bit talony. And then the fingers have 1 point of articulation. 3 of the fingers are all together, and the 4th finger, or the 4th non-thumb finger, is on its own separate axis, so you can get it into a nice holding a gun position. The base of the fingers all move together, it looks like. Yeah, so this section here controls all of the fingers' ability to close into a fist, and then it's only one middle joint on this section and this section to separate it so that we can come down into a grip. Arms can go a decent ways out with this rotation here. It will look a little bit unnatural, but you can get some good turned, rotated looks, and the arm can come all the way up and all sorts of directions, and it's actually very, very stable. I would say that this is an excellent joint for being able to hold all sorts of kinds of poses, and even if she's holding one of her guns, I don't think you're going to find an angle that you're not going to be able to use her arms in that regard. Other hand is identical to the main hand, so fingers doing their fingery things. This finger kind of works a little bit differently, and we're good to go. Legs can't come all the way out. That's about as far as she can get in the splits naturally. Forward articulation can go very high into a very high kick. If you got a stand, you could get her kicking somebody right in the face. Backwards wise, oh, that pops out a little bit there. You gotta go forward to push that in to come back. Backwards wise, they don't go very far. This is the full extent of a backwards rotation that they go. So it's really only frontwards and a little bit of a splits, but not a particularly good one. So very limited in the leg usage area. If you rotate it out, you might be able to pop that out and then get a little bit more of a couple of angles, but it's not going to look particularly good. Knees bend all the way back, so that makes up quite a bit of the no hip or articulation, but you can get some pretty good poses all with that. That's a nice double jointed ankle, or knee, the ankle. We've got 1 point there that can go back. We've got, do we have an ankle tilt? We do. So a pretty significant ankle tilt. So we're able to get all sorts of wide ankled poses and still having the flat foot to be able to hold on. And the toes have a little bit, so this toe goes up and down. But again, the toe isn't very tight and isn't gonna give you very much gripping power. Head-wise, her head comes down, back up. She can look pretty high. She has the ability to do a full owl's rotation, so you can get all sorts of views around there, so that's pretty great. But again, you're not gonna get a lot of backwards thing because you got all of this kibble. So kibble-wise, this figure is pretty bad for it. That's just a huge amount. These things sticking out of the back is unfortunate. She doesn't have a very clean back design. Sometimes you can get clean kibble backs, but in this case, they didn't manage to hide these parts in a way that makes her look nice from the rear. So you can't even appreciate that booty that they gave her. All right. So, articulation wise, legs okay, knees fantastic, or hips okay, knees fantastic, feet okay, arms are great. I think she has lots of potential for some decent poses. Let's take a look at her accessories. For faces, we've got the regular lips together, just chillin' face. We've got the mouth slightly open. We've got the mouth slightly open, surprised face. Next up is the happy mouth slightly open face. Maybe happy conversation, a little bit more of a smile. And we've got the surprised or very happy face. Either very happy or surprised at what just happened face. To get these faces on, you have to get the face plates on, you must open up her skull. So that is this section here, and this pops up. And then there are some grooves here. So there's 2 sets of grooves, one further back for if you were going to use the visor, and one to the front. So we're gonna use the back one so we can check out that visor. So slotting those in and sliding the face down, the face slides into place. And then to get the visor out, there's a little nub right here, and you flip up that nub, flip up the helmet, and you can close that right down, and now you've got her visor. And so that closes up, and she can look around and scan things, I guess. I think that's what the visor does. And these parts here are very finicky to keep locked in place because there aren't actually tabs. So she is a little bit loose and flimsy. Let's zoom out. Come on. All right, so visor-fied. Other than the visor, we've got her rifle. Oh. Stand, woman. All right, her rifle. It's pretty decent size, and it has little tabs in it that should fit into her hands. So if we take her hand, she's got slots in the palm right there, and the rifle slides into those slots. Oh, thumb, come on. It's a little bit of work to get all of her digits in the right spot to use these. But that tabs in, fingers close, other finger closes on the trigger, thumb goes around, and she is rifling. And so you can get her set up with some poses. Goggles on, rifle ready to shoot. You can say that she is shooting by taking one of these plastic nubs and slotting it into her gun to show that she has fired it. Firing it off to the side. Let's have her actually look where she's shooting. There we go. Yeah. Shooting some guns. Other than her rifle, she has 2 other guns. So she's got a bigger pink pistol, again with the slots that will slot into her hands, and she has a little hand rifle. It's got 1 slot. It will only fit into one of her hands. If you try to put it in her right hand, it's not going to work, so this one only fits in one. All the other guns have slots to fit in both hands. This one only fits in her right hand. This one also does not have the slot for the effects, so the effects can go into the little gun and the rifle, but not the little handgun. She also has the option for 2 different other types of shot, so I would say that is more about the pistol, and this might be the initial fire and then the projectile going out, or laser beam going out. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. And then she has her holster, and so you can slot that in on her hip, sliding the holster in there. Goes in nice and tight, very stuck, and you can slot in her handgun. And so she can have her gun on her waist while she is holding her rifle. I'm not really sure why they gave you the little pistol. Does not really slot in well, but it's there. Maybe there was an episode she pulled one out in the season 2. There we have it. The final accessory is the little spike thing for the wheels, and so you can attach this to her wheel and it will pop out and be able to spike along. So as you can see throughout this whole review, this whole backpack setup makes her very likely to fall over, which is my only current grievance with this figure. Other than that, the figure is very nice for a Arcee to have in your collection. I love Masterpiece figures. I think they're just great. I have a whole slew of them, and we're going to be taking a look at them a couple at a time. One at a time? One at a time, for a couple of weeks. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. This is the review of Arcee Masterpiece 51. I would say that this figure is a great Arcee. It's fantastic. It looks really good. You can get it in lots of poses. You're just going to be struggling with it falling over a lot. You're going to have to find out just the right pose to get it to stand up straight. It's probably one of the most unstable figures that I have in my collection, and that is a little bit of an issue. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see in these types of unboxing videos. I'm interested in doing some more Transformers. I've got a whole shelf full of them that are going to be sent to me in the next little bit. I just moved, so I'm going to be opening those up, and as I open them, I'm going to do reviews and talk about them and look at them. So leave a comment and let me know what you think.